how is the local LGBTQ community reacting to the Pope's pronouncements? We now go above and beyond the headlines with Liza Diño-Seguerra. Good evening, Liza, and welcome to Newsnight.
Good evening, Ms. Pia, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so Liza,
Yes.
what are your first thoughts when you heard that Pope Francis had said this?
Well, I shared it on my Facebook post right away, and we made a joke about it. Na if this is really going to happen, then we'll invite all of our friends to our wedding, because this is something that's long been wished for by the LGBT community, especially here in the Philippines. My husband and I are legally married in the U.S., but here it's not recognized. So we need to catch up, and just the fact that the Pope endorses it and the palace fully supports it, sana talaga magkaroon ng follow through in terms of institutionalization ng ating mga bills that supports LGBT acknowledgement and civil union.
So in effect, Liza, ang pumipigil lang sa, sa wedding nyo sana yung pandemic at hindi yung yung law, no? But anyway, let's talk about what kind of an impact this is going to have. Do you think that this is going to pave the way for the approval of pending legislation, no matter how predominantly Catholic we are as a nation? At the same time, how is this going to impact on the family code, for example, the SOGI bill, for example, policies, and even the way people think?
Definitely. Kami personally, yung experience namin, laging kino-quote yung Bible, laging it's always the reference to the doctrines. And siguro yung endorsement ni Pope would help us, revisit siguro or find a new interpretation on how sometimes we take it too literally. Of course, this is a personal opinion, and this is something that shared by our community, na dapat hindi natin siya tinitignan ng literal. And siguro by the endorsement of the Pope, it just tells us that there are so many ways of interpreting the Bible by not discriminating the LGBT community. In terms of policies, alam naman natin, and the mere fact that he's very specific about civil union, it's a state right. Minsan kasi napaghahalo natin talaga yung karapatan ng individual, the individual's right to be afforded the rights that are given to heterosexual couples. And yung distinction na to, na hindi talaga siya church, it's state. Civil union is always is a union that's given to couples na sa because of our civil rights. Sana at least kahit papaano maintindihan ng church yon, na especially dito sa Philippines, na nagkakaroon ng walang distinction masyado yung church and state.
Okay. Well, hindi ba in a very practical sense, for example, a couple like you would go to the hospital, and then tatanungin kasi next of kin, halimbawa, di ba? It becomes a problem sometimes, no, na hindi nare-recognize kasi nga hindi kayo kasal in the eyes of the Philippine government. Is that
Yes.
correct, Liza?
Yes, very practical situations. Yeah, the hospital, syempre next of kin ang itatanong, and because hindi kami nire-recognize dito. Buti na lang, sometimes may tolerance sa atin kasi nga, of course, kilala na kami. But what about the other couples na hindi ganun yung situation? Pag na-fill up ka ng form, di ba, ang lagi mo, imbes na mabigyan ka ng benefits or even sa BIR exemption dahil, we are a family. No, you have to write na single ka. So napakadaming aspeto, sa practical na buhay at pamumuhay ng isang couple, ng LGBT couple, yung nadi-discriminate at hindi na ibibigay sa amin bilang citizens ng country na to because hindi recognize yung marriage namin. Insurance policies, ang dami, di ba? So imagine, what if something happens because of this pandemic, di ba? Something happens to your loved one because hindi kayo recognized, you're not gonna be given the right to, make decisions for your partner or for your family.
Yeah. Well, you brought up two very sad points, no? The first one is that you said okay lang kayo kasi kayo kilala kayo, pero paano yung iba na hindi showbiz couple, celebrity couple, no? Tapos yung pangalawang nakakalungkot na sinabi mo, you use the word tolerance. This is what we want to go beyond, right? When you have
Oh,
Pope
yes.
Francis saying something like this, and then you have a more progressive view by Filipinos, whether Catholic or not.
Yes. The sad part about tolerance is that it reaches a certain point where okay lang pero wag ganito. Okay, sige, tatanggapin namin kayo pero wag niyong gagawin yan So, I mean, and this is something that happens in our everyday lives. Just, halimbawa, sa trabaho namin, okay lang, before when we got married way back in 2015, I lost jobs because we got married. Okay lang na kayong dalawa, pero nagpakasal na kayo So, how can people believe that you can be a mom? You can play the role of a mom. But we've come a long way since 2015. I'd like to think that, somehow yung mga kabataan natin ngayon mas malaki na yung kanilang they are very assertive in terms of their views and perspectives about LGBT and equal rights.
Well, this is a good thing, no? That Pope Francis himself says something like this, and we quote, homosexual people have a right to be in a family. They are children of God. Oops, wait. Nawala sa screen ko yung binabasa ko, sorry. They are children of God and have a right to a family. Nobody should be thrown out or be made miserable over it. And that's what he said in the Catholic News Agency. Well, Liza Diño-Seguerra, thank you very much for joining us
Thank
this
you
evening.
so much, Ms.
Well,
Pia.
I wish you all the luck. I hope you do get that wedding post-pandemic.
We'll invite you.
Thank you. Salamat.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, sure. I'll go. Basta walang pandemic. Salamat. Liza Diño-Seguerra there.